I just wanted to show you a video today of a repair. I know I've been doing a lot of them on building, but today I have a great 70s gold top Les Paul that I'm going to switch out these mini humbuckers for some P90s for a customer. He actually brought in the pickups. They're Antiquities. I'll show you a little bit more about them, and I'll show you how we go about this. So here's the pickups. These are the Antiquity from Seymour Duncan guitar pickups. This is the 90s soap bar neck with the cream top. I'll show them to you. So these come really well packaged. They actually have the resistance and the guy who wrapped it. Well, actually, this is Seymour Duncan's, who signed it off, and then there is the serial number for the pickup. So these are actually really cool. They come presented. Now, I did actually already open this one up once just to kind of make sure that it was the right fit. So this isn't as wrapped as nice as it was. So I will show you on the bridge pickup. So there is the cream top, P90. Again, with signature on it with the serial number and specifying that it's a neck. Okay, let's get this get these strings loosened up, and I'll show you the bridge. So now I've flipped you over to the back so that we can open up the control pocket. Now, the way these are wired, the pickups go to the two volume pots first, so potentiometers, short pot for short, and then they go to the switch. So we're just going to take and get this cover plate off so you can see the wiring. Goes off to the side. Okay, so now this one and this one are our volume pots. And this one, actually, the ground has broke loose, so this is supposed to be grounded to the pot. So that one isn't actually even properly wired right at the moment. Oh, actually, never mind. They've got it grounded here instead of at the pot. You can see where it used to be grounded, but someone changed it. And that works. That is not my favorite way to do this, but it definitely is a way that works. Now, this is probably all still period correct. These look like the correct capacitors, and these look like, yeah, those are the original pots. So this is probably all stock. So this was probably something that Gibson did back in the 70s. Like I said, not my favorite way to do it, but you know, it's definitely a way you can do it. So they just used a central lug to ground everything to. So I'll have to go into here and unsolder all this and get these undone, because we want to save the original pots if we can. They're still functioning fine. I'm going to clean them out just a little bit, but other than that, they should be good to go. All right, I'm going to show you how to unhook some of these wires. Now, this is important to do with some good equipment, so you don't ruin the existing electronics. I'm using a Weller soldering iron that's a temperature control. It has a magnetic tip that controls the temperature. I'm also using a solder sucker. The way this works is you push down this ram that's spring-loaded. It catches, and when you get the solder melted, you stick the tip on here and push this button, and it causes a suction and pulls the solder up inside of the tube. So what we're going to do, we're just going to start right down here at this first hot connection, and this would be for the bridge pickup. We're going to just warm that up, and it melted quickly. And just suck that up and have a look at it. It's still attached, but there's a heck of a lot less solder. Clearing the solder sucker. Tweezers. We've got, oh, it actually is loose. It was just barely hanging on. Okay. All right. Sorry if I get my hands and fingers and stuff in the way here. These are kind of, I'm just going to warm that wire up to this little bend since it's got solder on it. So there's the bridge. And I'm going to clean out that lug again. Just like that. Now the lug is all clean. Okay. Now we've got to shift a few wires and get that so I can access the top lug. Let me see if I can move the light just a little better. Not too much glare. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to actually, it's this lug. And we also have to be careful we don't heat this up too much because we don't want to burn out the capacitor. So, gotta set my solder sucker, set it on there, get it close anyway. Just warm that lug up. Come on. Okay. Clean my solder tip just a little bit. It's not conducting very well. Okay, let's try that. Oh, there we go. That got melted. Okay, we're just going to pull that one first, and then I'll solder suck it. There we go. There's the bulk of it. Now, the only real reason to suck out the solder in this is if you're seeing any oxidation of the solder, or if there's like any chance of it being like a cold joint. These weren't too bad. But they were definitely looking a little kind of crusty looking, so I wanted just to be on the safe side and just pull it out rather than have to deal with it later. Okay, now this other ground, I'm going to see if I can warm this. There's a lot of other solder in this connection. So I'm just going to see if I can pull. Okay, I was able to pull that out. And this I'm not too worried about sucking the solder off because this is just going to come off anyway. There's that. And that ground is loose. Okay. Now the only thing I'm going to do is warm this up and separate these two so I can pull them through the body separately. So I'm just going to kind of grab onto these with my two fingers there. Come on. See if I can do this without burning my hands. There we go. Okay. So now they're separated. And now we can pull them out the front. All right, to the back of the front of the guitar, I have the strings loosened so that I can lift the pickups far enough forward to get them out of the pocket. So now I just need to find my screwdriver. There's one. And these are the screws that are holding it in. Now these particular kinds of pickups are actually screwed right down into the body. There's this ring and everything just attach and go straight in. Sorry, I'm kind of blocking the view here. That one's loose, and that one's loose. Okay, so now we just got to pull up and clear those screws and pull out the cord. So there's the neck pickup. Now these are actually a mini humbucker, but we will be putting in those P90s. And it has the little pieces of foam behind here to push up on the pickup. Those are in great shape, so I'm just going to leave them there. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Now these pickups are still currently working, but the customer wanted the sound of the P90s instead of the mini hums. Okay, come on out. Come on. There we go. All right, I already pulled in and got the neck pickup one in off of camera because it was being a bit of a pain. And anyway, so we'll show you the bridge pickup. So again, another antiquity. This one is just the P90, see if it'll focus. It doesn't want to. Soap bar bridge, cream. So here's the bridge. Now this is how they come wrapped. The other one, like I said, I had opened. So I just wanted to show you how these actually come wrapped up very nicely. Got the B for the bridge, and then this is the resistance of the pickup. Yeah, they do a very nice job of these. There it is. Straight from the factory. And again, there's the signature and the serial number. And it states that it's a bridge. Okay, now this one, like I said, the neck was being difficult, so I didn't video it. I started to, and then I edited it out because it was just taking forever. But there's actually a little move this in here. There's a little hole right there, and that goes down into the channel that goes between the switch and the controls. So there's a big channel they route in the body before they put the maple top on. So we're going to take and drop that down in, and it should just push. That exit for the controls is right there. It barely has to go any distance. I'm just going to loosely set that right there, and I got to move the body so they can reach back there and grab that and pull it through. Whoops. Losing the cover. There we go. Pull that through. Okay. And there it sits just like that. Okay. Now these do mount differently. These have the two holes right here in the center. So we do have to drill a little hole for that. Just move my light a little bit. And we actually already got the bit set for depth and everything. So we just come in here. Just like that. Now I did gauge this bit, so it is just slightly smaller than the screws. Just like that. Nothing crazy. And they do come with new mounting screws, just like this. So we're going to open these up. So the original pickups will always keep with the guitar, so that one day if he ever decides he wants to resell this, we can either swap those back out into the originals, or he can just specify that he has the originals with it, but they're not installed. What discussed when I was talking to him, I don't think he's got any interest ever selling this thing. It is a pretty cool pickup, or a pretty cool guitar. And it definitely is not mint condition anymore, so it's not got some, not crazy resale value. It's still a, high-end guitar, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to go for the high-end money because mint has left. Okay, all right, I'm going to loosen that back up, so just to let that pickup come further back up again. Just like that. Okay, there we go. So there's the pickups, the new ones, and they fit right in the hole, and no modification to the holes or anything. So it's still, the body is still stock. Okay, so we got this turned over. I already trimmed and pulled back the one for the neck pickup. This is the bridge pickup, and basically you just have to pull this back. This is just the grounding shielding over the wire, and then you have a cloth covered center wire, and you just have to pull it back just a little bit to expose the center. It's just like that. So what we're going to do with this is stick it right down in that hole right there that we made, and I'll just take a little bit of solder, a little bit of fresh solder, and we're just going to touch that lug, and we need just enough solder to fill that lug. Boy, it is not sticking. Let me clean my solder tip. Try that again. And you see I've got leather on this guitar to protect it from any solder or anything touching it and injuring the finish. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then there's that. And I'm actually going to do the wrap like they had it for the ground here. Alright, now we're going to solder the neck pickup. So we're going to put it right back in that lug. Get some more fresh solder. Get off the tip again. So we got our fresh solder. Apply it right to the tip, just like that. Oh, it's got a little deal. I'm just going to clean that up a little bit, make it look a little better. There we go. That looks better. You always want it to look clean. So I think I am going to go ahead and just redo this as it was stock. So we're going to take these 2 wires, and I probably should have wrapped these before I soldered the ends, but that's okay. I can still make it happen. Pull these, and they just had it wrapped around once. And so not normally the way I would do this, but since it's stock, we'll make it happen again. I'm going to wrap it around one more time, just like that. That looks pretty close to how they had it. And then I'll just tack this end right down into there, into that original lug. I'm going to fix my solder here. Ooh, that wire gets hot. Dang. Ouch. Okay. Get something I'm not going to burn my fingers with. Lost my solder there. And they've got a big gob of solder on that thing. Trying to get it to heat up is not working real well here. Okay, let's see. Let me figure out a better way to get that in there. The wire's about 600 degrees, so I don't really want to touch it too bad. Okay. Clip that off. We don't need as much as they had on there. I'm just going to wrap that around there and solder that to that. Tweezers again, because I like my fingers. There we go. Okay, and now we just have to put a little bit of solder there. Now I am going to put a little bit of flux on this so that it will go into that shielding. The other thing is we're going to need a fairly good amount of solder, so I'm actually just going to bring the solder right in there and feed it in until we get a good enough bubble. Make sure those 2 are attached, just like that. So if we can see that, it's still really hot, but there's just a little bit of solder right there that's touching that ground wire and both ground lines. So now it is grounded. Okay, so that is that. All right, and so that's basically, and now we'll just go and string it back up and check the deal, but that's how it's done. Thanks for watching. Everybody stay safe and stay healthy.